Good morning, community. Woo! Look at that sunrise. It's beautiful, but it's going to be a scorcher today. This morning I'm harvesting some of my marshmallow plant. I'm harvesting some of the leaves and the seeds, and we're going to process these in the freeze dryer. Oh my goodness, lots of medicinal goodness here, guys. I'm also going to process some mullein leaves. This is another great medicinal to have. I have my trays loaded up. I've got marshmallow, rosemary, feverfew, holy basil, and mullein. So guys, when I run this freeze dryer, I try to make sure and have every tray filled, and that's why I went out and got some of the rosemary. Love freeze-dried rosemary. Got it all loaded up. So up here we have feverfew. Here we have the marshmallow, rosemary, mullein, and holy basil. This is a great medicinal cabinet to have with your natural herbs. And when they're finished, we go ahead and package them up and get them ready to sell, guys. And we are doing quite well with these. So I'm out here in my market waiting for people to come get their tomatoes, and wanted to discuss what the marshmallow plant is for. It does very well here in our zone. It's pretty hardy. Zones 3 to 7, I believe, or 3 to 9. Sorry, 3 to 9. It likes full sun, well-drained soil. All of the plant is edible, the leaves, the flowers, and the roots. And it was used by the ancient Egyptians for sore throats and coughs and respiratory viruses. But it's also good for your digestive tract. And believe it or not, that's what they used to make marshmallows out of. But now, of course, we know marshmallows are made out of corn syrup and sugar and all that good stuff. But anyway, it is a perennial. And at the end of this season, I'll cut it down at the ground and let the roots stay. And so it will come back next year. The second year is really when you want to delve into your roots. Third year is even better. But it is a great all-around medicinal for digestive, coughs, flus, and respiratory. And so many of you already know about mullein. It grows wild here in Texas. Often you can find it on the side of the roadway, and if you can, you need to stop and pick up some of the leaves. But it's also good for your respiratory tract, and you can make a tea out of the mullein leaves, or you can smoke it. And a lot of people smoke it and say they get instant respiratory relief whenever they're sick with the flu or a cold. Feverfew. Feverfew is edible as well, the leaves and the flowers. Now the flowers normally won't come out until mid-July. I do have one plant that's producing some flowers, and I left them alone because I want it to get more. But feverfew is frequently used by people with migraines. It is like nature's aspirin. It is an anti-inflammatory and a pain reliever. So we're growing feverfew, and we're going to be processing it quite a bit this year. Next is our holy basil. Holy basil is huge. A lot of you bought seeds from us last year, and we'll have them available for this year. It is great. It is a great tea for anxiety and sleep. So if you're on anxiety meds, or if you have a hard time sleeping, some insomnia, you might want to pick you up some holy basil. We do freeze dry it and make a tea out of it. I imagine you could use the leaves fresh and make a tea out of it, but we prefer to freeze dry it to preserve it. We are amping up our medicinal growing, guys. I'm trying to think. Oh, I've got lemon balm, bee balm. I have some chamomile growing. Let's see what else. I know I've got some other things in here. And comfrey. You can't forget your comfrey. Comfrey is fantastic for burns, for bruises. You just make a poultice out of it. I'm thinking about maybe freeze drying some. I'm not sure. There's two sides of the story. Some people say it's not good to ingest. Others say it is. I'm gonna do a little bit more research, but I do know it's absolutely fantastic as a poultice or to make salves out of. And I'm gonna be making some comfrey salves this year. We plant our comfrey next to our fruit trees because it has a very long taproot that goes down into the soil and goes down into the earth and pulls up all the minerals next to our fruit trees that we need to give them a little bit of fertilization, but it also pulls up the goodness, the good minerals from the earth. So when you use it as a poultice, it's got all kinds of great benefits to it. Now I do have a standalone plant, but most of my comfrey is next to our fruit trees, our apple trees out back. So you can see we got the fruit stand all set up. Tomatoes are starting to be exhausted, but we've got more plants started, guys, for the fall. And we'll be repotting those here probably in the next couple of weeks. But we have a good selection of tomatoes left, and we got our herbs, and we got some fresh herbs. And speaking of, one other medicinal herb I wanted to talk to you about is oregano. Most of you know that oregano is an antiviral and an antibacterial. So we will be freeze drying that as well, not just for our culinary purposes, but for our medicinal purposes. And man, make up a little concoction of your tea leaves, even mint. We also have mint. You can add mint to your holy basil, and that will give you a minty flavor tea if you're not feeling well. And let's see. You can add it to your oregano. You can spice up and make a tea variety that is palatable to you and that will help you during the upcoming flu and cold season. We also have all of our culinary herbs. We've got dill that we have freeze-dried, large leaf basil, Thai basil, opal basil. All of these are wonderful culinary herbs to keep on hand. And again, like I said yesterday, your culinary herbs also have a certain amount of medicinal benefit. So guys, get to growing your medicinals. It is June 21st, depending on where you're at. Up north, you guys are just now starting. So I would make sure and include some medicinal herbs in your garden this year. And you can dehydrate them. You can put them in the oven and dry them. You can freeze dry them. You can make tinctures out of them. So there's all kinds of ways to preserve your herbs. And I really encourage you to do that and get you a good little medicine cabinet going from your garden. God bless you all. Love you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we will see you soon.